Here we're looking at a warm-up for a cardiac group or a group of older adults. This can be performed in a studio, or these movements can be performed outdoors prior to going on a walk or doing exercises at home. In between all the movements, we always march on the spot. The first movement, as you can see, is what we call toe taps. Keeping your posture nice and tall, tapping your toes out in front in a nice rhythmic controlled fashion. Once you've completed one of your movements, then in between, gentle marching on the spot. Once again, keeping it gentle, keeping it rhythmic, keeping your posture nice and tall, head facing forward, shoulders back, down and relaxed. Once you've done a marching on the spot, then you can proceed to another movement. This one is heel digs, tapping the heels out in front, being careful not to overstride because you may lose your balance. Again, breathing throughout and always nice tall posture. In between each movement, marching on the spot once again, gather your breath, stand nice and tall, preparing yourself for your next movement. There we go. Next movement, side steps. So gently, one leg after the other, keeping your body facing forward. You're just stepping out to the side. Once again, not overstriding, not twisting your body, so you're in a natural position. Breathing, keeping the movement always smooth and controlled. So this is one movement, and in between each movement, marching on the spot. There we go again. So each of these movements can be performed in a park or at home. Just keep it simple to mobilize all your major working joints and muscles. Another movement is what we call back steps. Again, it's all about keeping control, not overstriding, not stretching so you're going to strain any muscles. The reason you're warming up is to prepare yourself for your exercises to come, prevent injury, and just ensure that the joints, bones, muscles are nice and warm and flexible enough to continue with exercise without any injuries. Once those movements are over, once again, in between, marching on the spot. Keeping it gentle. Again, shoulders back, down and relaxed, and you're comfortable in what you're doing. Knee lifts is a movement which you also need to be careful of losing your balance, so keep it gentle. Be aware of your position. If you've got knee problems, lower back problems, just raise your knees slightly off the ground. If you have no injuries, still you wouldn't want to raise your knee height and waist height. Marching on the spot in between each movement once again. Then we move on to the next movement, which is just a swaying movement we're doing here from one side to the next. There we go. Again, it's all about being aware of your body position, not twisting, not straining, not overstriding. You're breathing throughout and consciously preparing yourself for exercise to come. And again, in between each movement, march on the spot, using those arms. After a period of time, mobilize those joints. Now we're looking at mobilizing the spine, so we're side bends from one side to the other. We make sure we pause in the center to keep control. There we go. Excellent execution by this group, or a cardiac group who've been exercising for many weeks. So they're very competent in their exercises. Here we go again, marching on the spot using the arms as we get closer to actually exercising. Once we finish marching on the spot, this time we're still mobilizing the spine, but we're going to twist from one side. Do your best to keep your hips forward, neck and head following your shoulders, so you're not over twisting. And just feel a mild stretch. No pain should be felt. There we go. Good control. And with all these movements, you need to ensure that you're breathing throughout, not holding your breath, not feeling any pain or discomfort. If you feel any pain, you should stop immediately. And if it doesn't subside, see your GP. Again, in between the exercises, gently marching on the spot using the arms as we get closer to exercising. You can adapt your marching by stepping wide, marching close. And we look at our stretches. First one, stretching your upper back, shoulder area, approximately 10 seconds, and we keep the feet moving. Then stretching the back of your arms, again keeping the feet moving, doing our best to keep the head in a natural position. Exactly the same again for the opposite arm. And shake it off, loosen it off once you've finished. Now we're going to stretch your upper body. Ensure that you don't lean back, just bringing the elbows together. Upper body completed. Now we're stretching the back of your lower leg, your calf muscle. Good. That back leg would be straight, front leg slightly bent. March it through in between. Stretch your opposite leg. Bend one knee forward, back leg straight. Heels on the floor. Hold the position but not your breath. Keep breathing throughout, even with stretches. So, marching it through in between the stretches. Now we're going to stretch the upper back of your leg. Starting position, flat back, knees bent, one leg forward, nice and straight. Always rest your hands on the bent leg. Keep your back nice and flat. Sit back in that position. And each stretch, upper body and lower body, needs to be held for approximately 10 seconds. Superb. Excellent execution once again from this group. Good stretches. Same again, starting position, knees bent, back flat, feet approximately hip width apart. Once you're ready, put that leg forward nice and straight, one leg bent. Do your best to face forward rather than twist. Bring your toes up. That will engage your calves and your hamstrings a little bit more. Breathe as you go in, step up and march it through. Stretch the back of the lower leg, the back of the upper leg. Now we need to stretch the front of the upper leg. So, find somewhere to hold on, where you're comfortable, hands not too far away from the wall. Depending on the flexibility, you may need a towel to assist, as you can see. If not, grab your trouser leg, your shoe, your ankle, bring it behind you and hold that position for approximately 10 seconds. March it through. Exactly the same again. Lift that leg up in front. Then grab your trouser leg, your shoe, your ankle, face forward. Naturally, breathe as you go. Once you've done that stretch for 10 seconds, then we're back to marching. And because we were stretching, body temperature might have gone down slightly, so we're going to re-warm the body. Similar exercises to what we executed when we were warm. But now we're going to engage the arms at the same time. So tapping the toes, bending the elbows. Once again, in between we're marching, but we want to bring the arms in now. Get nice and warm. Tapping the heels down, bringing the arms behind. That's good. Everyone at this particular time will be at different paces. That's good. Breathing as you go. Concentrating on your posture. Keeping the movement controlled. In between every movement, marching on the spot. This is excellent. This is how you want to warm up prior to exercise. Here we go. Side steps as we did at the beginning, but this time engaging the arms at the same time. Here we go. Full control still. Body position good still. And also the posture is very good. Once again, in between the movements, marching on the spot, using the arms, engaging your shoulders. Here we go. Breathing as we go. And we can vary the march, so you can make your legs a little bit wider as you march them. You can bring them in. Then we look at another movement, back steps, and once again this time we're engaging the arms at the same time. So all these movements are an example of a warm-up which can be executed. It's not the only way, but this is one way, keeping it simple as possible. Always breathing throughout. Marching in between the various movements. There we go. Another movement coming up, knee lifts. Which one needs to be careful. If you have a lower back or knee problems, do not raise your knee too high, just continue to march. Keep your knees very low. Hands are engaged. Opposite hand, opposite knee. In between, you guessed it, marching on the spot. Keeping it comfortable. Then alternate leg curls, so just curling the legs behind as you go. Again, it's fully controlled, posture's nice and tall. Breathing as you go. Now you're nice and warm, ready to exercise. Last movement coming up, simply marching on the spot. Now ready for the workout.